What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while since you guys have seen me. Kind of just been busy these past like 2 months, honestly, a month and a half, just with work and the whole holiday season, work in retail, all that stuff goes. But honestly, the fishing hasn't even been that great as of recently. Like the whole month of November, I went 7 trips without even catching a fish. So I had nothing to show really. The fishing was just absolutely trash. The fish were just suspended out in like 80 feet and like 40 feet on bait balls, and it was just super bad. And we had already stocked trout, so it was super bad. So, but the fishing kind of picked up. It's a little bit better. We're actually seeing fish, which is not like the greatest thing, but I mean, I've seen like one follower today, so I mean, I'll take that, I suppose. But I mean, other than that, fishing has just been kind of slow. So today I'm going to kind of go back and I'm just going to kind of do a review for you guys today. I'm going to be doing the review of the Working Class Zero Battle Shad. Now this bait is designed by Working Class Zero. The owner is Mike Gilbert, a good friend of mine. And I was able to pick up a couple of his shads to give a whirl this fall to kind of fish, but we didn't really have a good fall. So like I wasn't able to really get a whole lot of fish on this bait. The only fish I really got on this bait were actually flathead catfish. So I'm gonna show you guys the cast and catch on those. It's kind of funny. I was thinking like one of them was like the fish of my dreams and stuff like that. But I'm gonna just show you guys like the swim of this bait. What makes this bait, and hopefully you guys enjoy. But before we get into that, I found this rod. It's a nice one piece, one guide. If you guys lost it here at Canyon Lake, just let me know. Leave a comment down below, and I'll have this shipped out right to you. So let's get right into the review. Alright, so I'm going to kind of just break it down from like my rod choice, the reel choice, the line choice, and even the hook choice that I use for the Battle Shad. So, start off, I've just got an 8-foot extra heavy swim bait rod. This is my Lowdown Customs. It's a beautiful rod. I love it so far. It casts this bait like just like a dream. It loads up just perfectly. It's got enough tip to load up the bait and launch it out there. I went with an extra heavy. You can go with the heavy because this bait's pretty light. I'll get into the specifications of the bait a little bit later, but this rod, I went with an extra heavy just because I feel like I wanted to have a little more backbone, just because you are throwing a single hook style bait like a jig. So I wanted a little more backbone, so I went with the heavier, stouter rod, which is the extra heavy. But you can get away with throwing like a heavy if you wanted to, or if you had one. Now the reel that I've got on here is my Abu Garcia Revo Big Shooter. It's a low profile reel, so it's a little bit faster gear ratio. This is a 6:4 to 1. I know a lot of people, when it comes to soft baits, they like it on like a slower gear ratio. With this bait, what I was doing with it is I was kind of working it like really quickly through some of the grass that we've got here, and I was working it more aggressively or faster in like some of these rocks, just making it look like a shad kind of darting in and out of the rocks. So I wanted something a little bit faster. Now I know some of the dudes, they like to fish the stuff on the bottom. I like to fish it on the bottom as well. With the slower gear ratio, you can kind of get away with fishing it like this. With the faster gear ratio, you have to kind of slow down a little bit. So, but other than that, it's no big deal. Either a 6:4 to 1 or like a 5:3 to 1 or whatever, something like that. You should be able to go with the reel. Now the line I like to go with is 20-pound fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon, just because it has a little less stretch, which you would want on like a single hook style. So like this jig hook style, you want to have a little less stretch. So when you do set the hook on like a super far cast and you're fishing it in like 30 or 40, you want to have like almost no stretch so you can get that hook and drive it all the way through. Because if you're not driving the hook, those fish, will just spit it like it's nothing. So you want to have that fluorocarbon, has a little less stretch than mono. You can fish it with mono. There's nothing wrong with mono, but if you want to have better hookup ratios, you want to go with the fluorocarbon. Now, with the bait, you have to rig it up yourself. It doesn't come with like a harness or anything like that. So the hook that is recommended is a owner beast hook. It's in this 10-aught size. 10-aught is just perfect for this bait. And if you guys want to see the whole rigging, there's a bunch of different videos made by different guys who rig it and show you just what to do so you can rig it right. I'll leave those videos in the description below if you guys want to go check out the whole rigging method on this, because there's a bunch of mistakes that a lot of people will do on this bait, so it won't run straight or it's just kind of all messed up. But you guys can check out those videos. But it's very, very simple. Those videos will definitely help you guys out if you guys ever pick this up and want to rig it perfectly. Other than that, we're going to get right into the swim video, guys, so stay tuned. Well, I hope you guys kind of like the swim video. It's kind of hard doing it by myself out here, but hopefully you guys got the gist of it. It comes through the cover really, really well, either grass or rocks. It even comes over like cables. So it kind of goes and it kind of rides up like that. So it kind of points the hook, which is already weedless, kind of away from the structure, and it goes right over. And it's got a super sick swim to it. It's got the little bit of head, but a lot of tail going on in the back. So it's a really cool looking bait. So you guys might be wondering, like, how do I even pick up a battle shad? So the best way to do it is to have the notifications on for Working Class Zero's kind of whole social media. So from like their Facebook to the website, even to like their Instagram. So what Mike will do is before a batch is released, he'll kind of throw up, like, he'll kind of give hints that a batch is coming, and then bam, like he'll just post like, hey, batch is up there, and then you kind of just have to jump on them and get as many as you possibly can. I'll leave links to all of his social medias down below so you guys can get those notifications, so when they do pop up and when he makes a batch, you guys can grab a pair or more than of the battle shads. The video doesn't end here. We're going to talk to Manny Chee. I think he's out here today. We're going to see his intake on the battle shad as well. Alright, so who is this man right here?
Yeah.
Who do we have here?
With Manny Chee Outdoors, local Arizona shithead. we got the battle shad right here. This is the bait. This thing has been insane for me. Last year, guide trips, bunch of 8s and 9s. It's a crazy bait because when Mike first brought it out, its size, you know, that was definitely a time when, like, it was like, give me something bigger, give me something bigger, and then bigger and bigger, like bigger follows and this and that. So when he brought this thing out, I just thought, first, like, this is gonna be a great bait for guide trips, like something that'll catch those 4s and 5s that follow. You know, I thought, great, we're gonna get more bites, maybe not necessarily big ones, but it'll be like fun times on the boat. The total opposite turned out to be the case. Like, this thing has led to more 8s and 9s on our trips than almost any other bait that I have. We don't even catch any smaller fish on it. Some of the rigging to it, it goes with a 10-aught beast hook or the trocar, and I like, you know, both hooks. There's things I dislike about both of them. The trocar maybe has a little bit of like a sharp point here, and it seems to cut in a lot, which is easy to repair. But what I don't like about the beast hook is their screw system. You know, the trocar has a bigger screw. It really hangs onto the bait really nice. The beast ones have this smaller screw that tends to rip out more, and lately I've had them straight up break. So I'll end up with part of that screw inside the bait and then the broken top. But either way, they both have really good hookup ratios. 1/2 ounce or 3/4 ounce with the trocar. And when we use the beast hook, one thing that we learned from Mike, we stick in a couple nail weights here into this part of, like, behind the gill. And that really helps to keep it down, not have to wait as long if you're fishing it deep, or if you're fishing docks. Again, not having to pause as long for it to get to that right depth before you start swimming it. One of the big things, the eyeballs. Like, the eyeballs fall off a lot. It's a soft bait. You have the screw in here, things happen. We fish them blind. It's all right. The fish don't really notice that. And where we fish it in ledges, 20 to 30 foot zones. We fish it around docks. We fish it in grass. We skip it into tules. When you swim it on those tules, once you start giving it a flurry with the rod, with the reel, it'll like go on its side. The tail's still like thumping in the water. Boom! Once it gets off off that cover, it goes right back to center. And we've caught a lot of fish like that too. So it's definitely like the most versatile bait. I've taken it to the Delta. I've taken it to the saltwater. Caught tarpon on it in Mexico. Like, it gets bit by anything that's eating. You know, this isn't too big of a size for anything to eat. So it's been an insane bait. They're a little hard to get, but if you just turn on your post notifications with Working Class Zero, you can get yourself in there and buy one.
Sweet. Now, what's the setup, man, that we've got here?
As far as like the rod setup, my Lowdown custom rods. This is a prototype blank that's a little better suited for like some of the soft baits. Really like ripping that jig hook and sticking it in them, bringing them up out of deeper. Super lightweight, new carbon fiber handles. I've been really happy with this rod. And then the reel, you can't beat the Calcutta Conquest for many of the soft baits. This is the 400. We use the 400 size spool with 25-pound fluoro, or 20, but I like the 25 just because when we get some of those backlashes, the 20 is a little more brittle with it, so then we end up casting off baits more. But 5-to-1 speed, that 400 helps you keep the same speed no matter if you're far out on the cast or if you're closer up on the boat. So you can keep that steady speed and you know you're getting that right, that right tempo on the bait. It's also like an awesome training device for many of the soft baits, like the HUDs, the weedless baits. Like it really teaches us to, use that rod, use that reel, and retrieves, point the rod straight at the bait, and just keep it coming, and then you get hit. And this one really teaches you to not flinch with the rod right away. You want to check with the reel. So we come tight. And especially like right now that our bite's kind of coming back from being pretty bad for a while, for me at least. What I found is right now they're really like, they'll whack it and tap it and yank, yank, break, 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 break. So like you come tight and you check it. That's kind of like the equivalent of like checking with the rod tip with like a jig. So we reel down, and once you feel that thing load up where it feels like a crankbait running too shallow, then you take everything you have and set the hook as hard as you can. Put that thing, we usually throw it up and then instantly bring it down and start fighting them like we would with any other big bait, down in the water, not letting them jump. And like I said, it's been a great tool for like really learning how to like choke fish on the soft baits. The Battle Shad.
So here's those videos of those 2 flathead that I've caught on the Battle Shad.
Come on, dude. Come on.
You needed that?
Yeah. I need your help. Help.
Oh, God.
Come on, guys. It's a catfish.
It's a flathead. Did we not just talk about that, dude? Did we not literally just talk about that earlier today?
I'm not too happy right now, homie.
Right there.
Well, it's my first ever flathead on rod and reel. Bad looking fish.
Catfished.
Catfish, dude. On the Battle Shad.
Go, dude. Oh my God, it's a giant. It's a giant. Watch out, dude. Watch out, hold on. Oh my God, dude. It's a giant, dude.
Do you have a fish?
Yeah, dude, did you not see it running?
No.
It's literally, hey, can you grab the net actually?
Are you for real?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, dude.
You're joking.
No. Alright, here she comes, dude. Just get ready, okay? Okay, dude?
You're fucking joking me. I know you are.
It's literally a giant, dude. Here she comes, dude.
It's a tree log.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Holy shit!
Oh my God! Look at that flathead.
Woo! Yo!
I can't believe this right now.
Guys, so I just caught a double-digit largemouth, biggest bass of my life. Put up a hell of a fight with my boy Toady, and here she is.
Oh, never mind. It's just a giant flathead. Whoopsies.
All right. Fish. I'll leave like all those videos about this bait down in the description below, so you guys can also check out, get more information on the bait. You know, the whole shebang. You know, for the bait itself. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, go out there and chase your dreams.